Good evening and welcome. Whether you're watching this live at 7 o'clock on May the 3rd, which happens to be my mom's birthday, and she's in the spirit world. So she's working with us today also. So if you're watching this live, great. If you're not, great also. More people are going to watch this as a video. So I'm going to jump right in just a minute or so. Today, we're going to talk about the psychic predictions or psychic forecast for May of 2022 and some exercises and practices that Spirit recommends. And let me turn the sound down so you don't hear the pings if anybody else comes in that way. So I'm just going to say a few quick hellos and then jump right in. And Susan, hi, and Susie and Susan and Susan. Wow, this is like the Susan invasion. We have Susie, Suzette, and Susan all in. I don't know if anybody else is here, but anyway, welcome. Oh, somebody not named Susan is here. Okay, welcome. I believe Pandora, you're in Australia, right? So happy. What day is it there? Wednesday. Happy Wednesday morning there. All right, so May is an action-packed month, and we're only 3 days into it, and there's already a lot of action. And hi, Jeanette, and hi, Patty Flanagan. Welcome. So, yeah, if anybody's new, feel free to introduce yourself. Let us know where you're from and all that good stuff. So, yeah, very action-packed month, and honestly, I had a few ideas of what I was gonna say, but I finished doing my readings at 5, and then I sat down to write out my notes, and then my guides came in, and I think in about 10 minutes I wrote down like 11 points, and then the practices to do. So all this came through mostly through channeling. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna talk just a skosh about the astrology and the numerology that's supporting very well what Spirit is saying about this month. And I'm just going to touch on it because we actually have an expert astrologer and numerologist named Sharita Star, but you can call her Sharita Star. I'm in a silly mood, don't mind me. And she has a full spring forecast for you right here on the Medium channel, covering April, May, and June actually. And of course, all the months link in. It's obviously the whole energy doesn't change just because the calendar changes, but it does change to a certain degree because we leave from April the number 10 numerological month, which is really about changes in fortune, changes in directions, new beginnings, and stuff like that. And we dive right into the 11 month. And 11 is really about strength. In fact, the Chaldean symbol for the number 11 is the lion muzzled with clenched fist, which is basically the strength card in the tarot. Now, if you're familiar with tarot, you may or may not know that the strength card was key 11 and they changed it to key 8. So the numerology is there in the tarot also. So it's really all about courage and overcoming challenges. So the lion muzzle and clenched fist, that's about will. That's about overcoming. That's about finding your inner strength and overcoming all the challenges that are around you and in the world, and being able to make a difference. So that's a very strong underlying theme that we have working with us for the month of May. Now, as well, we came out of a partial solar eclipse on April the 30th. That was really, really charged, but I believe that that's nothing compared to the full moon lunar eclipse that's going to be a total eclipse happening on the 16th of the month. And you're going to find that at 25 degrees Scorpio. And Saturn will start to station right after that. So Saturn will actually, during the eclipse, be at 24 degrees, technically Aquarius, but it's going to station at 25 degrees Aquarius, squaring the moon. And Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. It's really very revolutionary, higher mind, and it's really about community. Now, Neptune is at 25 degrees Pisces, or will be. It's not there now, but it will be I think it's still at 23 or 24 degrees right now, but it will be at 25 on this on the 16th. And Jupiter and Venus are going to conjunct. In fact, they conjuncted already May 1st or April 30th at 25 degrees Pisces also. So, Neptune is hanging around that. Now, 25 is a very emotional quality in numerology. It reduces to a 7, so it's Neptunian energy. And the significance of 25 is really about struggles, strifes, really working hard to get ahead. Now, it can be a very successful number, but there's a lot of overcoming that comes with that. So that's all I'm really going to say about astrology. There's a lot more detail in that and a lot more I could talk about. But again, I'll refer you to Sharita Starr and her videos. So I've got all this stuff written down. That's why I keep looking down. I definitely need my notes. I admire these people that can get everything in their head and just get in front of camera and just rattle it off. But that's not me. So I'm very much relying on my notes. So there's 11, and I didn't even think about this. It's an 11 month, and there's 11 things that are psychic messages or spiritual messages that came through. And I'm just really now realizing, wow, I didn't even consciously think about that. So it's an 11-month, number one, all about courage. You must find your courage this month, overcome obstacles. If you're the type that doesn't speak up, start doing that. Start training yourself to doing that. If you tend to not like to create conflict or tension with people around you, meaning that you're a people pleaser, like I've been most of my life, this is the time to work on overcoming that. Now you have the strength of the lion behind you. You have the strength of the 11 numerology behind you for that. So this month is all about courage, finding your inner strength and being able to overcome. Now, challenge is the lion's share of growth in the human experience, especially when you're able to overcome a challenge. You get new information, you get new energy, you get new insights when you do that. Don't fear challenge, embrace it instead, but have the heart of a warrior. Your warriors take responsibility for everything, right or wrong, in their world. They approach life with honor, they approach life with dignity, and they want nothing more than peace, but will defend themselves or their loved ones to the death if need be in order to preserve life, basically. So find your warriorship, speak up. Number two, prepare now, both spiritually as well as practically. I've been talking a lot over a year now about coming food shortages, supply shortages, and whatnot. It'd be very funny if it never happened. In fact, I would be so happy to eat crow on that prediction. To be quite honest, like bring it on. No food shortages. And time is fluid. Nothing of a psychic prediction is written in stone. It's all predicated on consciousness. It starts with the individual, but it's really predicated upon collective consciousness and group consciousness. Whatever preparing, in case you need a month or two of supplies, whatever preparing means for you. If it's stocking up on liquor, by all means do it. Liquor stores were considered essential businesses during the lockdowns. So whatever it means, food, supplies, extra gas, whatever it is, camping stove. So prepare now. That May is the month to prepare. We're in somewhat of an energetic lull, but that is quickly ending. That window is ending. And I think this new moon eclipse, the solar eclipse, really marked the end of that. Things are going to ramp up. Things are going to speed up. Number three is ending relationships and friendships that do not work anymore. Embrace growth, not fear. So, in other words, as you continue your spiritual growth, some people are going to get left behind. I know so many people, in fact, one very, very close friend and other friends that are ending long-term relationships now because they are growing but their partners are not aligned with their growth. So this is going to happen. It's sad you can mourn that, but again, it's necessary because when you hold on to things that are not healthy for you or that don't support your level of growth or your new level of growth at this time, it actually blocks that growth, or I should say inhibits or obstructs that growth. Nothing has the power to block it, but it can inhibit it. So, relationships, friendships that are no longer serving you. This is it's not just in May, but around this time this will end. So, if you've been thinking about that or things aren't working out, you may need to look deeper into that. So that's number 3. Number 4 is energetic resets. Mercury is coming into retrograde. I didn't mention that. It's already close to stationing. It's going to start on the 10th. Mercury retrograde, especially given the fact that Pluto is also retrograde, is really a good and beneficial thing for resets. The prefix Ari works well with the retrogrades. So many who have experienced tumultuous or rapid change will get an opportunity to step back and reset. So, I know it may sound semi-contradictory from what I was saying about courage, preparing now, and all that, but we do have a chance to catch our breath during the retrograde cycle. But as we're doing that, we're going to see a lot ramping up in the world around us. But take your time to be able to do your energetic resets, maybe do more yoga, breathing, whatever it is, and give yourself time, give yourself energy. Make sure you have breaks from your busy day. So this is the time to reset your energies, get good and grounded, and get ready for a lot of change in a very eventful summer coming up. Now, nothing that we say here on the Medium channel is ever fear-based. I just want to put that out there. This is all about empowerment. This is all about owning our power, and it's all about awakening. But as who said that? No, it wasn't Einstein. I forgot whose quote this is. If Sharita is on, she knows, but she's not on. But those who fail to prepare to fail. Basically, was it Benjamin Franklin? I think it was Benjamin Franklin. Okay, so 5 is culmination month. Things will come to a head in political issues. Some of the cover-ups are going to start to get slowly revealed. This is already happening, but we don't necessarily hear it. A couple of months ago, 2 or 3 months ago, I did this whole live stream just dedicated mostly to what I thought was going to be some coming out with cover-ups around Fauci and the government and stuff like that. In terms of origins of a certain pandemic that we've been dealing with and stuff like that. It's happening. We just haven't really seen that yet, and so so things will tend to culminate that have been building for a while. That can be in your personal life. It doesn't necessarily have to be in the news or the world around us. You may find things that have been building culminating. It's not the time to sit on the fence. We must make decisions. This is the time. This is the time to exhale, time to catch our breath before the next wave of energy, the next wave of ascension comes in. So the energies may back off a little bit, but they're really going to start to build around that Scorpio full moon, which is highly energetic anyway. But add a lunar eclipse to that, it focuses that energy even more. So number 6 is some noise about the Canadian Prime Minister possibly stepping down. Shifts in balance of power around the world. Another world conflict possible later in the month. So we may hear of some more conflict. It may be an offshoot of Ukraine, Russia, like China getting involved. Although I'm feeling more maybe we may start to hear some stuff around like either North or South Korea or Vietnam, because I'm kind of in my mind being pulled into those locations. So we may start to hear that about that. Now, for those of you that are familiar with my yearly forecast, I've made kind of a bold prediction about July about a major leader, and I was using Biden as a strong possibility of either being forced to step down or whatever. This may wind up being what's his name, Trudeau, rather than Biden. It may wind up being the Russian president. It may be a couple of different people, but that's the kind of energy we're in. So that's number 6. Number 7, geological shifting. That's very common after eclipse seasons. Generally, we have eclipse seasons every 6 months or so. Usually in the 2 or 3 months after eclipses, that type of activity tends to increase. So we could see big earthquakes, and this is what was coming through. And I'm sure I'm going to miss a lot of the details, um, but Chile or Argentina, that area came up. Near or off of Alaska came up, possibly in the northeast or Canada. Although that may not be major, but there could be an earthquake in our neck of the woods. Also near Oklahoma, and also fires, flash floods. That's the climate. That's the Earth trying to counterbalance things, and with the natural warming cycle, as well as the the response to higher CO2 levels and other greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. So Mother Earth is going to be shifting a lot. So we could be catching some news about some big earthquakes, tsunamis, and stuff like that. I think in my yearly forecast I talked about March as there being like something of a major like ice shelf slipping in Antarctica, and I was a little bit concerned about a big cascading tidal wave. Tidal wave didn't happen, obviously, but the ice shelf slipping did happen, and in March Antarctica recorded temperatures as high as 70 degrees above normal. So it's like a huge late summer heat wave happened in Antarctica, and climatologists, meteorologists are just shaking their heads, saying, "This is just not possible. How could this be happening?" We're going to see more and more of that type of stuff. So be aware. This is, I could say this every single month and be accurate about geological shifts, climate shifts, and stuff like that. But be aware of that this month. Okay, moving right along. 8, finding new callings, new directions. If you're not sure what that is for you, meditate on it. I have 2 videos on how to find your calling, one for 2022, one for 2021. If you're not sure what that is, definitely take a look at that. I'm also going to touch on that in a Thursday upload about it's called the new money. So I'm going to touch a little bit about finding that also. This is where we a lot of us are going to start to tune into what our new purpose is as the earth continues to shift. So this is a great awakening, a great reset. You've heard all those cliches, I'm sure. It's really happening. It's not happening overnight, and that's one of the things, both 2021 and 2022 psychic predictions. Then I caution people, you may be hearing things on certain channels about we're going to just transform into 5D, everything's going to change. It's not that simple. This is a process that we're in. So it's probably going, this awakening cycle is going to be going on the next 10, 20, maybe even 40 or 50 years or so. But every year, more and more people are waking up. When I say awakening, I'm talking more about spiritual awakening. And certainly political awakening is part of the process. I'm talking about awareness of energy, awareness of spirit, connecting to spirit guides, discovering new psychic gifts, new spiritual gifts, seeing the world as energy, seeing yourself as spirit, having a human experience rather than a human trying to be spiritual. That's what I mean by true awakenings. There's different levels of awakenings, but a lot of people are going to be having that. So this month, meditate on what your next calling is, because a lot of people will be finding new callings this month. Okay, number 9, I say watch out for either the bird flu, the avian flu, or a new COVID variant. I think we're going to get news of some worries about a possible new, I don't even want to say the P word, but a possible new issue. I want to say, I don't want to put that intention out there. Okay. Oh, number 10, and it's just popped in like it's I think one or more famous anchor person, news person steps down amidst pressures from the powers that be. I think we're going to see a lot more conflicting with the media. I mean, I think certain people connected to media, and maybe the pharmaceutical companies or whatever, because there's this divine triad of oppression going on in the world. It's been going on for a while. It's it's the media, politicians, and the big businesses. That's sort of the divine triad, and they're all run by a singular entity, basically. I mean, some people call it the cabal or the deep state, but they're all controlled by the same entity. And I think we're going to see more whistleblowers starting to emerge, or people that are going to start to call other people out. And some people may be forced to resign also because of the growing censorship that's happening in the news and around you. And then number 11 is news of new restrictions or mandates. It may not be in here in the US. I'm thinking more in Canada and parts of Europe, but there may be, and maybe the US. So we may hear of some new like vaccine mandates coming up, or whatever. So just be on the guard for that. So I'm sure there's more coming up, but those are the 11 that just kind of came through. So I figured, all right, if this is what Spirit wants me to say now, this is what I'm going to say. So I'm sorry, I'm not really reading your comments, but um, thank you, Anita, and welcome. Yes, Benjamin Franklin. Do not squander time, for that is the stuff that life is made of. That's a really good quote. So here's quickly the practices now. Before I go into this, a couple of things. One, this information is definitely going to overlap what I was saying about the April 30th eclipse, because the new moon happened on the 30th. That might as well have been May 1st. So the energy of that new moon kind of dictates what's going to be happening for the month. So the new moon sets the tone for the entire month. The new moon was an eclipse. It was at what was it, 10 degrees Taurus. There's a lot of aspects or whatever. So there's a lot of overlap, but I encourage you to check that video out also. So practices, do anything to reset your energy, basically, whether it's breathing practice, whether it's dietary practice, whatever it is. Try to make sure you find some time where you can just sit back and reset. Again, we're in a Mercury retrograde. It's ideal for, well, this retrograde starts on the 10th, but it's ideal for that. Do your long, deep breathing. I talk about that all the time. I like, or I should say, I kind of coined, I guess, the 3x3 method of doing that, which is basically for 3 minutes at a time, 3 times a day. Just stop what you're doing, relax your shoulders, relax your face, feel love and light of the universe around you. Then on the inhale, draw that light into your heart, into your body. And the exhale, release tensions, worries, other people's energies, the media, and do that 3 times a day. And it's important in any time, but right now it's really important. They also talk about, because I'm seeing violet fire, and I didn't write this down. They're also saying to do a lot of like violet flames or cleansing meditations or exercises. I have, I think, one video on the violet fire meditation, or maybe two. You can also look up Saint Germain, violet fire alchemy, stuff like that. So it's a very deep cleansing ray of energy is what the violet fire is. So connect, connect sense of courage with the root. And okay, so this was the one that they just popped in my mind the last minute. We want to work with the root chakra and the solar plexus chakra. Reason being is the root is about our body, it's about our security, it's about our physical and material life. Our solar plexus chakra is the sun. It's the solar chakra. So that's really about our courage and our will and our strength and stuff like that. So there's a breath that I do. It's called lower triangle breathing. And the way that you do this, because the lower triangle are the 3 lower chakras, the root chakra, the 3 lower major chakras, I should say, according to Vedic traditions, that is the root, the sacral chakra and the solar plexus chakra. So what you do is when you inhale, you draw energy into your root from all around, and you bring the energy up to your solar plexus. Feel your solar plexus expanding into your aura. Then when you exhale, you bring the energy back into your root. And you can make it a circular breath. You can inhale from your root up your spine into your solar plexus, hold it there for a second, then exhale, and then release back into your root. And as you're doing that, visualize you have roots growing from your root chakra deep into the earth. So stay grounded that way. And then get out into nature. We talk about that a lot. Nature can reset. We are bombarded with a lot of programming from society. We're bombarded with 5G. I don't know if you call it, radiation works, 5G energy, Wi-Fi energy, all of that. I'm not here to discourage you from having cell phones or computers. I mean, I believe in technology, but I also believe in balance. These electromagnetic frequencies can interrupt the flow of our energy fields. But if you go back into nature, you can reset your energies. Nature will do that for you. So breathe in the air, breathe in the earth, the sun, the wind, the sky, all that stuff. Go out into nature, feel the trees, feel the flows of energy. Allow yourself to reconnect and become one with nature, because you are one with nature. It's an illusion that you're separated. The reality is you are one with nature. Nature is in you. Every cell in your body came from the earth. Every molecule of the earth came from the stars, came from the cosmos. So you are not separated from that. And in consciousness, you're not separated either. So the idea is to be able to become present in nature and feel the flows of energy. That is healing. That will reset you. And the other thing they said is do some cleansing baths. I recommend sea salt. You can add a little bit of vinegar, white vinegar. That creates sort of a dipole, and that helps to kind of electrically cleanse and clear your aura. And that's basically what I have for today. So I just wanted to just make you guys aware that if you like numerology, I'm actually going to be teaching a course for Lilydale this Saturday at 6:45 to 9:45 about numbers and how you can use numerology, not just for your life and planning your life, but to get messages from spirit also. So I need to start promoting this because it's happening on the 7th. So I said, well, I'll let everybody here know. So I got the information on the screen. If you want to check the course out, it should be up on the Lilydale website. So just wanted to make you guys aware of that. And what else? You check out Charita Star's video. Check out the new moon eclipse video. That'll give you more information. And rock on. And thank you, everybody, for being here. I love you and I appreciate you. So have a wonderful May, and we'll check in a few days before the lunar eclipse for more messages about that. So I love you. I will see you next time.